Hello students, good morning. Today I am going to teach you physics of 12th standard chapter 1st lecture number 2. We will study some basic concepts about the first chapter, that is electric field and charge. Electric charges and fields. So students, first of all we have to understand charging. What is charging? In our general life, we always pass through several examples in which we used to say, my mobile phone has been discharged. I have to make it charge again. What they want to say actually, we have to understand this phenomenon. When someone says the battery of this device has been discharged, this means the difference between positive and negative charge decreased. This means the charge particles of two nature are not so much different. Understood? Let's some example. There are several methods of charging. And one, the most popular and taught in CBSE board as well as state boards, also some phenomenon are given in competitive exam, that is the charging by induction. What do you mean by saying induction? Without touching. So the process in which one type of charge can be transferred to another body without touching is called induction method. And if we remember 10th standard, in which we have studied about induced current. Friends, let's see through some examples. This is a metallic sphere. In part A, this is neutral, total neutral. What is the meaning of neutral? What we want to express by saying neutral? This means it has no charge. No, it has charges, but both type of charges are equal in numbers, so they cancel each other and the resultant charge is 0. Friends, maybe plus minus 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 minus plus plus minus plus minus plus minus plus minus plus minus minus plus plus minus plus minus. If we count the symbolic method, the number of positive charges is equal to number of negative charges, hence the total charge on this metallic sphere is 0. That is why this is called neutral. Just imagine about the situation, what will happen if we brought ये negatively charged particle, which means minus negative. This is negatively charged body. When this is brought near the metallic sphere in part B, what is going to happen now? Just imagine about the charges. What will happen with the charges? The charges that are positively indicated, means positive charge, will be attracted by negative charge. Thus the situation will look like this. Positive charges will concentrate towards negative charge and the negative charge will be on that side, because negative charge repel the negative charge of metallic sphere. In this process, But this effect is seen by the time as soon as we remove the charging object that is negatively charged, the metallic sphere will come in its previous position. But if we join a metallic wire to an earthing, what is an earthing? Earthing is nothing more than the circuit that reaches to the ground, by conducting wire. Friends, the negatively charged particles, electrons start following through the conductor and reaching the ground. This means these electrons will be in earthing, because earth is known as sea of or ocean of electrons. Or in other language, the sea height of this portion is lower and height of this portion is higher, and charge always follow from high potential to low potential. In this situation, these negatively charges will follow through this conducting wire and to the ground, and permanently they transfer from this metallic sphere. And what will happen about the metallic sphere now? Because of the attraction of negative charge particle or negative charge body, the charge that is unlike to this charge will attracted by this, and negative charge will follow through the metallic wire and goes to earth. Now just imagine what will happen if now if this negative charge object is removed away brought away from the metallic sphere, what will happen? Here a lot of space is seen empty. This means electrons has passed out and reached the ground. This means this metallic sphere has become positively charged. Now if we remove this negative charge object, as we have kept it near to the metallic sphere, if we remove it away from the metallic sphere, what will happen? The charges that is of only one nature, positive charges, will spread throughout the metallic sphere uniformly throughout the sphere. They will spread throughout the whole sphere, uniformly distribution. Now an uniformly distribution will be seen throughout the sphere, and now there is no effect of any negative charge object near it, and this has become positively charged. Then students, I have discussed on the topics how you can make a neutral metallic object charge without touching it. In this process, first once again observe how I make this metallic sphere charged. First of all, I have given the figure of a metallic sphere that is neutral, that is in neutral position. This means the number of positive charges is equal to the number of negative charges present in the metallic sphere. And after thinking a few minutes, I have decided if a negative charge object is brought near the metallic sphere, some of the positive charges will be attracted due to the presence of negative charges, Then what will happen? Here, and the same charges that are negative present inside the metallic sphere will be away from the negative charge object because of the force of repulsive force will make the negative charges away and positive charges will be nearer. Without touching you can see that this difference. Without touching we have make separation between the positive charges and negative charges. In the third position, if we connect the metallic sphere to the ground, the negative charges start flowing through the metallic wire and this is to the ground because ground is said to be the ocean of electron. In this process, because of the high potential, electrons keep on going down in the ground. And what will happen if the earthing connection will be cut? If earthing connection will be cut, now we will see the same figure that is represented. This represents negative charged object and the sphere has become positive charge, but this portion is empty because electrons has gone and positive charges are a side because the force of attraction of negative charges. But if we in the final figure, if we remove this negative charge body that is kept near the metallic sphere, if we remove it from here, we will find that there is neither a force of attraction nor a force of repulsion is acting on the metallic sphere, and the positively charged particles have been spread throughout the metallic sphere, and this has become a positively charged object. Now we will discuss on the topic insulator, conductor and semiconductor. Students, these topics are given in physics but actually are related to chemistry. So we have to understand something, the phenomenon on which the conductivity depends on. First we give example of aluminium atom. Students, you can observe that aluminium possesses 3 electrons in its outermost shell. As you know, if we compare the atom to a field in which cricket is played and a ball is put in the middle of the field, your nuclei react same as the ball and atom same as field. This means the distance of outermost shell from the nucleus is so much bigger that they feel only a big force of attraction by the nucleus. So they are known as psychoelectrons. And when they come in the contact with other materials, they used to lose their place and they are not so much tightly bonded with the atom and hence will be removed away very easily. The other example is copper atom. Same way, copper is in its outermost orbit that is very far away from the nucleus and is feeling very less force of attraction. So as soon as a potential is created on the both end of conductor, the potential made easy for these 2 or 3 electrons to pass out from the attraction force of nucleus and they remove them. But when we talk about carbon atom, the carbon possesses only 2 periods, 2 orbits that is very near from the nucleus, and nucleus exert a very high force on the electrons. So when electric potential is created on the both end of wire, due to the high positive electric force, they are not able to go anywhere and hence they oppose strongly to flow of electric charge, and they show a property that electricity can't pass through them. Further, we will discuss about the atomic structure of silicon. Silicon has the same condition. Silicon possesses 3 orbits. So the electric force, positively electric force offered by nucleus over all the electrons revolving in outermost shells are feeling so much strong force and are binded with the orbits and always keep on revolving, but there is no difference how much potential is created. But this situation arises when a high potential is created at the both end of a conductor. They sometimes get excited and they start flowing towards the potential side. In this way, this is known as semiconductor. Now I have given sulfur atom, that is the best example of insulator. In this situation, the same phenomenon acts because the number of electrons in outermost shell is neither 1, 2 or 3, but a lot of electrons are revolving, that is the 6. Hence 6 electrons are feeling so much positive force from nuclei that they can't go away anywhere except their given orbit. Hence this acts as an insulator. Same story is running behind iodine atom. You may imagine that the number of orbits increases and we come down with period, respect to the periods. The number of orbits increases and the distance from nucleus also increases, but because of being a lot of numbers of electrons present in outermost shell, they are not able to go away anywhere except their directed orbit. But sometimes a few conditions are applied that we will study in NEET or JEE level after academic level. So then students, I have decided that there are 3 categories. They are insulator, a substance that doesn't allow to follow electricity through them at all. No electricity, no permission, no permittivity is known as insulator. And one that permit go is called good conductor. Hence metals are supposed to be good conductors of electricity, while non-metals are supposed to be bad conductors of electricity or insulators. And some substances like silicon and carbon are said to be semiconductors. This means they neither allow the electricity completely to follow, nor they control exactly. You have not to go anywhere through this path. They allow but a little. Are known as semiconductors. Thus, there are 3 categories of substances on the basis of conductivity. On the basis of conductivity, there are only 3 types of substances. Number 1, we have studied as insulators that doesn't allow electricity to pass through them at all. Middle group is known as semiconductor that allow electricity to pass through them but not fully, only partially. And at last, that everyone would like to use as conductor are substances that allow electricity to pass through them easily, not showing much oppose, are known as good conductors of electricity. Generally, metals are said to be good conductors of electricity, and we will study about them in detail when we will represent some more representations, some questions related to JEE, some questions related to NEET, and some academic board, CBSE board, and some state level. Okay. Now, students, we are going to study the next topic, that is basic properties of electric charges. As we have known about what is electric charge, so now we have to discuss over some properties of them. What are some first property? LDVT. What is LDVT? Students, just imagine that suppose a system, this is a system. Suppose this system has 4 unit negative charge, 5 unit positive charge, 6 unit negative charge, 8 unit negative charge, 10 unit positive charge, 15 unit negative charge, 30 unit negative charge, 50 unit positive charge. Students, what will be their sum? These sums can be found out using simple mathematics as we used to with integers. Total charge on this system, total charge, that is capital Q equal Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 plus dash 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 Qn. This is the simplest way to find a total charge on a system. First, just tell the first charge minus 4, second charge plus 5, third charge minus 6, next charge minus 8, next charge 10, next charge minus 15, next charge minus 30, next charge 50. As you used to do in lower classes when you were studying, you still learned how you get sum of all these integers. Students, first of all, you used to separate positive integers taking together while the negative integers taking together. I have found 5, 10 and 50 are positive charged. So we make them separate by writing 5 plus 10 plus 50. Now all the left charges are of negative nature, hence they will be added together collectively. Plus minus 4 minus 6 minus 8 minus 15 and minus 30. Friends, now add them as soon as you can. 50, 10, 65 total positive charge plus here 30 plus 15, 45, 45 plus 10, 55 plus 8, 63. But minus 63. Thus plus 2 units, plus 2 units. This sign indicates that the charge that is acting for this system is only 2 units with positive nature. This property of charge is known by the name LDVT. I think understood completely. Any problem? There is no problem because we are not habitual in living in problems. We make the solution of problems. We don't like problems. Next, conservative nature. Students, same as mass, neither can be created nor destroyed. On the same basis, charge is a fundamental property that neither can be created nor destroyed. For example, if we take a metallic sphere with neutral means the number of positive and negative charges are equal. Negative and positive charges are equal. Understood completely? And now if we bring some positive charged object near it, what will happen? This can be seen in a next figure. This can be seen in a next figure. What will happen? This is a metallic sphere and a positive charge. A positive charge object is brought near it. What will happen? The negative charges will be attracted by the positive charges and be aside towards right side because of the force of attraction, and same charges repel each other on the same phenomenon. The positive charges gets away. But what I want to say by the property conservative nature, the total number of charges is still zero. The total charges is still zero. Hence we can say that charges are conserved. Charges are conserved. Charge neither can be created nor destroyed. Now next property, capable at smallest distance. What we want to say, students, no smaller particle than the electron can exist in its free state having charge. As we know, Q equal NE, where N equals number of electrons, and E equal charge on one electron, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Students, this means there exists no smaller particle, there exists no lighter particle than electron having some charge in its free state. Only and only electron is the smallest particle. This means the smallest charge that exists in its free state is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and hence electron is used as a scale of measuring, as a point that can be compared. So the charge of an electron is supposed to be the unit of charge, and generally is known as 1 unit. Absolutely, this unit is very small, is equal to only 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. That is very less, very small quantity, but no other smaller quantity can exist than electron. Hence electron is called quantization of charge. This means all the charges that exist in universe is a integral multiple of E. All the charges that exist in nature will be integral multiple of E. Let's understand how. Such types of questions are often asked in JEE if the given charges are real or virtual. Suppose I have written 1.6 7 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. You have to check if the given charge can exist or not. As we know, because Q equal Ne, Q equal Ne equal 1.7 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Here N equal 1.7 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb by E. You know very well, E equals 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. 1.7 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb by value of E. Value of E, that is the electronic charge. 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Here 10 power minus 19 coulomb, 10 power minus 19 coulomb will be cancelled by the rule of cancellation, and we get, if we remove the decimal of numerator as well as denominator, we will get 17 by 16. Here 17 by 16 is not a whole number, hence this charge is a false charge. This charge can't exist because number of electrons cannot be a fraction. Number of electrons is always a whole number. Here number of electrons is 17 upon 16, that is not a whole number, hence this charge is not possible. Further, 6.4 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. In second example, we have to check if the given charge is virtual or real. This charge is virtual because this can't exist. As charges exist in the form of electron multiple integral. Hence Ne equals 6.4 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. N equal 6.4 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb by E. As E is called electronic charge or quantization of charge. Having value 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, value 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, 10 power minus 19 coulomb, 10 power minus 19 coulomb will be cancelled by the rule of cancellation, and we get 6.4 by 1.6. If we remove the decimal from numerator as well as denominator, we get 64 by 16. Here 16 in the 16, 4 the 64 equals 4. Real charge, because the number of electrons equals 4 electrons. 4 electrons are possible or not? Possible. Hence this is a real charge. Now we can say that charges always exist in the multiple integral form of E. Charges are the multiple integral form of E. Let's some more examples. That type of questions are often asked in JEE, and after that we will solve one question based on JEE and one question based on NEET and one question IIT advanced. First we have to check some more examples. Check if the given charges are real or not. You have been given 7.8 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. You have to tell if this charge can exist in nature or not. You know very well, Q equal Ne equal 7.8 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Students, hence N equal 7.8 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb by E. E means electronic charge having quantization of charge, that is the value of 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Now remove E by writing its value 10 power minus 19 coulomb by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. ये lot of SMSs are coming that sir it is a false charge. You are right, but if we remove decimal from both numerator as well as denominator, we will get 78 by 16. 78 by 16. That the simplest form of 17 by 16 will be 3 2. 2 3 is 6. 2 9 is 18. 19 by 8. Here 39 by 8 is not any whole number. Here 39 by 8 is not any whole number, and hence 7.8 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb charge is not possible. This charge is not possible in nature because number of electrons is always a whole number. ये new example, (11.2) into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. You have to check if the given charge exists or not by using N equal Q by E. Value of Q, given charge 11.2, 10 power minus 19 coulomb by value of E 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Here 10 power minus 19 coulomb, 10 power minus 19 coulomb will be cancelled by the law of cancellation. If we remove decimal from numerator and denominator both, we will get 112 by 16, and 16 7 are 112. Here 7 is a whole number. 7 is a whole number, and hence the given charge is real. This charge can exist because number of electrons is 7. That is a whole number. Now we understood completely how we check a given charge, if the given charge can exist in or not. Students, once again let's see Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? Once Coulomb uncle was discovering something strange, but when he was not able to discover his motive object, he gave another law that is called Coulomb's law. And what he did in Coulomb's law, I am going to explain. He took two point charges, and kept them with the separation of r. Students, Coulomb's uncle took 2 point charges and kept them at the separation of r from each other, and said that a force of attraction or repulsion, because the force due to the virtue of charge may be of two natures, repulsive as well as attractive. If this situation occur, repulsive, this nature or this nature repulsive, but if is positive and other is negative, then attractive. Force between two charges is directly proportional to the product of Q1 Q2, and force between two charges is directly proportional to 1 upon r square. Don't worry, I have said correct. Force is directly proportional to 1 upon r square. 1 upon r square. In other language, force is inversely proportional to r square. But force is directly proportional to 1 upon r square. Inversely proportional to r square. Understand completely? What is the difference of saying directly or inversely? If we say that f the quantities written in left side and right side are in direct proportion, then we have to say f is directly proportional to 1 upon r square, but f is inversely proportional to r square. Now by combining the two, we get f is directly proportional to q1 q2 by r square. This indicates that when the charges will be heavier, the force also will be greater. But if the charges will be larger, fewer, the force will also be weaker. But R is a game changer. R can change the game of force between them. If separation between the both charges increases, the force of attraction or repulsion between them decreases. But how? By the square time of separation. You may understand this example by one example. If R is doubled, if separation is doubled, then the force becomes 2 to jar. If separation is doubled, then force becomes 4 times larger. But if separation is decreased by 2 times, this means if separation is made half than previous 1 by 2, the force exerting between two particles is 4 times stronger, because the square inverse law that was recognized by Newton first in giving example of gravitational force. This means the electric force exerted by 2-point charges kept at a separation of r is directly proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the separation. Students, we often used to do something strange since class 9 and knew that we have to remove now proportionality, and as soon as we will remove the sign of proportionality, we will get a constant, that is called constant of proportionality. Here q1 q2 by r square. This is called Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? We have to know some strange facts about Coulomb's law. We will discuss here about Coulomb's law. According to Coulomb uncle, what Coulomb uncle declared about the forces between 2-point charges, F equals Q Q1 Q2 by R square by R square. Students, we should know that the same expression was given by Newton to determine the force because due to the force of gravity. What was that equation? What was that expression? F equal capital G m1 m2 by R square. Here G is called universal constant of gravitation. This means the value of this constant remains unchanged. Even we will talk about vacuum, we will talk about water. This means there is no effect of medium. You make activity anywhere, in vacuum same value, in water same value, in air same value, in metal same value. This means there is no effect of medium over G. Hence G is called universal gravitational constant, having value 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. Understand? This is a constant value that is never changed. This value is valid for everywhere, not for a particular medium. Understood completely? Now we will talk about K, that is the constant of proportionality. But this act for true only for air or free space. That is the vacuum. If this activity is carried out in vacuum or air or in space, then the given value of K is constant, having value 8.85 into 10 power 12. But students, as this value of K don't remain constant everywhere. The value of K gets affected. As soon as we change the medium of activity. This seems that some students are not understanding completely and they have some doubt. Your doubt will resist you to crack your JEE, that is your dream. So be careful and keep on messaging me in messaging box about your problems. Consult me. Students, this means if I have kept two charges in vacuum, then the value of K is constant. But in air, same. But if we do the same experiment, if we make the same activity in water, and put the 2-point charges with the separation of R, then the value of K is not constant. This means the value of K depends on medium. Hence, the value of K is given by this. Friends, F equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. Friends, this is epsilon. What is the meaning of epsilon? As I was describing that the value of K depends on medium. Then we have to think why the value of K differs from medium to medium. Why value of K is not same everywhere? We have to understand this phenomenon. Because of the some property of medium. That property is known as permittivity. That property of medium is known as permittivity. What is permittivity? Write कर लें. Just write the definition of permittivity. Permittivity. The property of ये medium. The property of a medium that resists the effect of electric force in its medium. This means permittivity is a property of the medium that resists the electric force. No. This means if this property increase, electric force decrease. If this property increase, this property belongs to medium, not belongs to charge. For example, if we are making the activity or if we are carrying out the activity in space, then this property is of space. Then which permittivity will you use? You have to use the permittivity of space. But if you are carrying out the same activity in water, then you have to use permittivity of water. If you are doing the same activity in sulfur dioxide, that is a medium, then the permittivity of sulfur dioxide will be included. Understood completely? And permittivity is indicated by epsilon. Permittivity is epsilon. Students, just imagine about the space. What is space? Space or vacuum? Space or vacuum is the place where there is no air. Where there is even air is not present. This means the medium where no particle. This means this property is a property that suppose this is a water medium and we are making the same activity. What will happen because of the presence of permittivity? The medium at once activate its permittivity and direct to its particles, go and decrease the force of electric. Go and decrease the electric force. Hence, the water will activate its molecules to oppose the electric force. Understood completely? This means the medium is more denser, the electricity is less. This means when permittivity is low, force between two charges is high. When permittivity high, force is low. Students, this can be moved by one by 4 pi epsilon, and when we are carrying the same activity in vacuum, because vacuum has no molecules, no particles, zero particles, because there are zero particles in vacuum. Hence, epsilon is written as epsilon naught, and is read as permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. That is the lowest permittivity, because everywhere except vacuum where you go, the permittivity will keep on increasing. This is the lowest permittivity, having value 8.85 into 10 power 12. Understood completely? Hence, and in my next video, I will tell you permittivity and relative permittivity, electric field, electric charge interaction, and I will tell you some story of other scientists like Coulomb uncle and Faraday uncle and Michael Faraday uncle and Ohm uncle. Okay.